It is Western States Week. The hype is hyping.
The hype is a hyping.
Man, it's great. It's like full on, like all the podcasts, everybody, Free Trail, they're there. Like, it's just like the media attention around that race just seems to grow every year. And,
Yeah.
And it's good because it's really, for American ultra running, it's like our Super Bowl, and it's a fun race, it's like, I know it's kind of like the cliche race that everybody knows about and all that stuff, but it's definitely fun to follow, and the amount of talent that is in every year at Western States is just incredible. But this year, after my run this afternoon, I got an alert on my phone. The beer mile is going live, the Western States Beer Mile. So I turn it on, and it is a full-on beer mile around Olympic Village there downtown, and they're doing the beer mile, and they're chugging the beer, quarter mile, chug beer, quarter mile. And then the guy that wins, he comes in, and the person that's doing the video is like, "Oh, congrats, you just won the beer mile." And he goes, "Well, I have to disclose that I did the non-alcoholic option."
Get your ass to dead.
I mean, I respect that. I drink non-alcoholic beers every now and then too, but for the beer mile, can you really be first place? I mean, it's kind of an advantage.
Yeah,
it is an advantage.
It can't be. I mean, listen, even if he wants to try to play but I'm running Western States. Listen, man, you got all day Friday to get back okay. And by the way, you and I happen to know a fucking legend that drank a fucking case of Bud Heavy the night before.
I was there.
Yeah. Oh, were you really?
Yeah.
I always forget that you got to be there for that. You and Chaz were out there together, right?
Yeah. And that was the first time I ever met Chaz in person.
Yeah.
But we crewed him out there at Western State, and he ate a large pizza the night before too.
Well, I mean, let's be fair. He's vegan at that point too, right?
He is, yes.
So, I mean,
is that like drinking a non-alcoholic beer at the beer mile?
It's really close, right?
Ronnie, if you're listening, man, it's all good. Nothing but respect.
Ronnie eats the equivalency of non-alcoholic beer. Oh man, that is awesome.
It is all good. I'm a vegetarian. Also, I get it. Well, I do eat seafood once in a while, but anyway, we will get into the Western States preview and a little later. I think we're going to close the show out with that, but let's jump into some race results first. And I do want to start with this race. It's called HOTS, and that stands for the Heart of the South. And it's a Laz race. So, all of Laz races are they start with last annual, right? He has last annual Vol State, which is that race across the whole state of Tennessee, kind of in a diagonal direction. And this is one of his races. And, Laz was out doing LazCon. So Laz's partner, Carl, this guy, I believe he puts on the races with Laz. Carl was running HOTS this year. But this race is pretty cool, right? It
is extremely cool.
Yes. So the runners, they don't know how far they're going to run until the night before the race. They know it's going to be between 300 and 400 miles, and they know where they're going to end because they're told where to park in a hayfield on top of Sand Mountain in North Georgia.
And that's always to finish.
Yeah.
That's always to finish. Yeah.
Yep. So they show up at this hayfield and they board some buses. They get their maps, and then they're pretty much just transported. Or I think maybe they stay the night in a hotel, and then the next morning they're on buses going to the start line. So it's a pretty cool idea, right? And the other thing that makes it difficult is not only is it in the South in June, it's super hot. You're on roads, and you're on, just roads in the middle of nowhere, and you get your map the night before, right? So you don't have much time to really prepare, and you can only use for supplies what you start the race with, what you can carry, and then what you can get along the course. So gas stations and, grocery stores, restaurants, whatever, and you have 10 and a half days to get back. Well, this year they dropped them off, like their starting point was the beach in Destin, Florida.
Which I love because, first off, I've heard some crazy stuff about Destin. Like I've heard Destin is I've heard it referred to as the redneck Riviera. I've heard Destin is just because it's way up on the panhandle of Florida. It's
yeah, it's by Panama City, that area.
Yeah, it's I've heard some, but could you imagine just being on vacation and trying to set up on the beach and just they enjoy the day, and all of a sudden the bus break, and 50 or however many runners getting off, what the fuck? What's going on? It's just such a funny mental picture to me for the runners coming off and the beach enjoys what?
Yeah. And I guess they got a vial of the seawater that they had to scoop up and take with them. And Carl did a great job updating the website. He had all these updates, and he was updating this tracker. Now, as Johnny pointed out before we started, this tracker is it's not state of the art. Let's just say that. Okay, we got, but I do have to give respect to Carl, for keeping this thing updated. It's an Excel spreadsheet, folks, and it has all the mileage and the hours and everything. And so they had 10 and a half days, and I think was it one woman made it to mile 381 and timed out. Is that right?
Correct. 381.
So it was 384 miles.
Which is wild because you got to think about and then actually, you know what? Oh, the Grim Reaper. It's there's someone called it's just someone's called the Grim Reaper. Maybe that was his name. I don't know. But
yeah.
What's wild is in any other year that could be a finishing time. You know what I mean? Because this race is anywhere from 300 to 400 miles. So that's the other thing that's wild. You know what I mean? You can come in.
I don't think the Grim Reaper was I think that's the sweeper.
Yeah, it might be the sweeper.
Because they finished with 1 second to spare.
Yeah,
their number was 0.
Yeah.
That's the last humor too.
Yeah, the other thing that I find kind of mentally intriguing about this race is there's a school that you can go to in the Department of Defense called SERE School, SERE, Survival, Evasion, Resistance, and Escape. There are components of this race that are just eerily familiar with what I oh, we're gonna take you on a bus, we're gonna drop you off, and we'll see you in 10 days. You're what the fuck? You're I really truly love the idea of yeah, man, deuces, we'll see you in 10. You're
yeah,
all right, I guess so.
I know. I love this stuff too. I love it. I guarantee you, if I was running it, I would hate it.
Oh, that'd be so.
But I just love the idea. It's just so different. That's what's cool about Laz. Like all his races are just so different and unique. And do you know that Jared Beasley was running this race?
Oh, was he?
Yeah, he DNF'd, and the description of the DNF location was approaching the Florida-Alabama state line.
I see that. I see that.
Looked like somebody named Andrea Beasley ran too. Wonder if that's his partner,
significant other. I mean, like it's almost got to be right. 40-41. They DNF. They dropped at the same place, the same time. Like it's like all identical.
Yeah, they were probably running together and said, "F this."
Yeah, this sucks. Why are we doing this?
That's right.
All right. So we got 240 miles, or I'm sorry, 240 hours to do this race. 10 days, right?
10 and a half, whatever that.
Oh, is it 10 and a half?
Yeah. So it's 10 days and 12 hours.
All right. So 240 plus 12, 252. You get 252, and then. All right, so if we do 252, so 252 times 60 is 1,520 minute per mile. Divide that by 384. I mean, listen, you only got to be shuffling along at like a 39-minute mile pace
for 10 and a half days, though. I mean,
10 and a half days
includes sleep and
yeah.
I mean,
you take the 90-minute power naps, right? Like you just take the 90-minute power naps. Like, all right, let's get up and get going. Like at most, you take the 4-hour sleep.
Yeah.
Like at absolute most.
Yeah, you just want to get some REM sleep here and there.
Yeah.
Man, like. I wonder what portion of it is paved versus what portion is like dirt road. Because, man, 384 miles on just pavement would destroy me. Like 26 miles on pavement would destroy me. I don't.
I mean, that's when if you're on a paved road, you're like, I'm saying I'll run into weeds. I'll run on the curb.
Yeah.
From, the crushed rocks on the side or whatever. Yeah. But I mean. The fun part about this is I'm dropping off here. But just imagine, the fun thing about this also is if you go to that end spot, right, and then just draw a circle of everything that's 400 miles, 300 to 400 miles, and just draw all the way around that.
Big radius.
The cool, all the cool spots you could start and see during that race would be phenomenal.
That's true.
Phenomenal.
Yeah. And, the guy that's on Adventure Jogger, Ryan Pluckelman, his friend Jeff Stafford, who's also on Adventure Jogger all the time, he did HOTS last year, and listening to him talk about it was just crazy. And last year, I think they drove east. I don't know, it's like southeast or something. This time it was just just south or maybe even southwest. But you're right. It's a cool concept.
So last year, oh wait, no, that's 2022. So HOTS 2023. So 2020, because I just noticed at the top there's a drop down for races.
Oh.
So you can go back and you can look. So 2023, they started in Fig, North Carolina. So they went north and went south. It was 347. And then 2022, it was Frankfort, Kentucky. Dude, they went all the way to Kentucky somehow. That would have been a gnarly one because you had the mountains and everything to come through.
Oh, yeah. That was 327 miles.
Yeah. But
2023 was 314 miles. But that was – where did you say it was? Because I'm looking at 23. So, that's last annual Vol State. Okay.
Yeah. So
HOTS 2023. 23. Here it is.
Yeah. So you got 23
Fig, North Carolina.
and then 22 was the one. 22 was in Kentucky. So if you drop that again and go down to HOTS 22, it started in Kentucky.
Dude, you're right. That one is going to be like, very mountainous.
Listen, it's. I'm going to use air quotes again. It's only 327, but bro, through Kentucky, all of Kentucky. Yeah, you got Kentucky, Tennessee, the far west side of North Carolina. Oh, by the way, like you're probably getting really close to Mount Mitchell, the highest point east of the Mississippi. Like that 2022, dude. As soon as that bus started heading that way, I would have got sick to my stomach. I was like,
well, look at this picture. I mean, it's like you're running next to a highway, and that thing is just up.
Oh man!
So
that would have been.
You can see the updates on the main page, and you can see like 252 plus hour updates. So they do it by hour, like 180 hour, 192 hour. So yeah, just a cool concept, and there was some finishers. Let's go back to the spreadsheet here. Addison Hendricks won in 6 days, 6 hours, 25 minutes, 29 seconds. So 6 days and 6 hours for 384 miles. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. And it was pretty close. I mean, well, relatively speaking, second place was John Clark in 6 hours, 9 minutes, 52 seconds. Oh, no, 6 days, 9 hours, 52 seconds. So there was like 3.5 hours between first and second. And then there was like only a half hour between second and third. Jim Wynn finished third in 6 days, 10 hours, 27 minutes. Let's see. The first female, is it Megan Curley? Oh, you know what? I can scroll over.
Yeah, first female is line number 9, Megan Curley. Yeah.
Yep, Megan Curley, 9 days, 11 hours, and 47 minutes. So.
The other thing that's kind of cool, while you read off the people, while you look for that while you look for second place ladies, the other thing that's really cool is there is a column AJ on the sheet that we're looking at right now, and it has their comments. It has the runners' comments.
Yeah.
It's great, man. Like some of the comments that's on here are phenomenal.
Yep. Let's see, like first place. All right, where's John Clark? I figure he's right behind me. I love the roller coaster. This is second place. I love the roller coaster. I love the start on the water. Like, let me regroup. Third place, I gave you everything I had. Thank you. Fourth, I still feel good. Tired, but good. Even when things went wrong, I made it work. What's this one? I slept at a bunch of churches. Never done that before. Trying to find a dry spot, or ideally just concrete to sleep on. And then the second place female was Kim Elliott in 9 days, 14 hours. So she wasn't too far behind Megan. She was just 3 hours or 2.5 hours behind Megan. So what were you laughing at?
So I'm scrolling through I'm scrolling through the comments, right?
Yeah.
In 14th place, right? So I mean, like I'm not going to say, like, I mean, it's like he's like third or fourth from last, right?
Yeah.
Greg Woledkin. Dude,
Woledkin.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I butchered your name, dude. All right, 57 years old, so not a spring chicken. But he's from Massachusetts, right? And I that's the part that really like I need people to like think about. This dude is from Mass, and his parting comment on the race: are those people in South Alabama just totally self-sufficient? I mean, there is just nothing down there. Like that is a dude. who just ran 384 miles, and like his whole takeaway was like, yo, those people are like, and I actually misquoted him, are just totally self-sufficient. Like double down on it. Like it's so funny. Like that has got to be a wild culture shock if he's born and raised in Mass. If he's like the population density that dude's used to, and then to come down in Destin, Florida, through Alabama, like who knows? Like, well, probably Alabama, Georgia, obviously. Like that dude saw some shit that he has never seen a day in his life.
I was on in college. I was in spring break in Panama City one year, and we drove. So when we drove back, we took a route straight up through Alabama. It was kind of a back route, and he's right. I mean, there is just nothing for miles and miles and miles, just nothing. So I can't even imagine what it was like for them, in between towns, or, they really had to probably stock up a lot. I'd love to read some race reports from that.
Dude, the comments are great, man.
Yeah.
Whoever said they wanted to start in Florida does not live in Florida. And that's someone who home state is Florida.
Oh, so they had to drive all the way up back. Oh.
Well, and so that's funny you say that, because the next comment up is, all right, this person's from Texas, right? This runner is from Texas. This is Jerry Palmer, bid number 1. I flew here from Florida to take a bus back to Florida to come back here on foot. And I guess at some point I'm flying back to Florida. Like, that is awesome. Yeah. That is absolutely awesome.
That's pretty hilarious.
Dude,
that's good stuff.
We should get a team possum. You know who would 100% do this race? And this is some Ronnie Delosier level shit right here. Like Ronnie, this is the kind of
shots
shit
fired.
I am not, like, I've talked to Ronnie, like, this is the kind of shit that he's been kind of wanting to do, to get back onto, like, I mean, because that dude's already knocked out some crazy ass shit.
Oh yeah, no.
So now he's just like, wow. And this is the dumb shit, because he's talked about wanting to do Vol State in the past.
Oh well,
he
would
would like
be better.
Yeah, I rarely think so. I've actually contemplated Vol State myself. This would be, I feel like, much more hysterical than Vol State. Like, this would just be a fucking ridiculous shit show. Yeah. That would get absolutely hilarious.
Dude, I would definitely have a few things of dog spray.
Dude.
Can you imagine how many dogs coming after you?
You would have to run with I don't know if you'd run with with trekking poles necessarily, but like in my mind, you would absolutely positively have to have like a shillelagh. You know what I mean? Like a you know what I mean? You'd have to have a shillelagh, just because some fucking dog's gonna come out. Or shit, some of the other places this thing takes off from, like a fucking black bear. You know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah, yeah.
Like,
right.
Just I love this race. This is cranking so many fucked up gears in my head. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. I'm so with you, man. Like, it is. It's cranking fucked up gears. I love that. All right. So last annual Heart of the South in LAHOTS. That's the hashtag on Twitter or X. If anybody wants to check out the feeds, who was tweeting this whole race was none other than Keith Dunn.
Yeah. Yep.
So, yep. Very cool. All right. Well, let's go into some race results, and then we can get to the Western States preview. So I'm gonna go to see Broken Arrow was this weekend. Broken Arrow is in Olympic Village, where Western States starts. It's at the ski resort there. It's considered a sky race. It was actually my first sky race in 2019. And I believe the course was a little bit longer then. Now it's, I think, a 46K. The ultra is. They have other events. They have the vertical K, which is 3,000 feet over 3 miles. So it's 1,000 feet a mile climb. And actually, Jim Walmsley ran the vertical K, and he got second, 37 minutes and 39 seconds. And Patrick Kipngeno from Kenya got first, 36 minutes and 11 seconds. So we had a international runner get first. And for the ladies, Joyce Najuro, also from Kenya, won, 45 minutes 29 seconds, and Anna Gibson came in second, 47 minutes 25 seconds. So there is the winners there. Congrats. They just came over and just flew up that mountain.
It's kind of funny because I did watch Walmsley come up the mountain. Like the finishing is like quite literally straight up a mountain, essentially.
Yeah.
And like you go through, and there's still a little snowpack that you even go across at the finishing. I was watching on it, dude. I mean, Walmsley is running up that mountain at like what I try to run mile splits in. I mean, it's just ridiculous. It even looked like he was like struggling to run up it. It just kind of looked like almost like bouncing up. I'm like, what the fuck? Like that dude is different, man.
We're talking 1,000 feet a mile, right?
Yeah.
That is like serious climbing. Walmsley also holds the record on the Mount Tam summit from downtown Mill Valley here. Like thousands and thousands of people have done that, and he holds the record on that. But just crazy. And so the other event, which has been turning into like the feature event there, is the 23K, which takes place on Sunday. And the woman, Joyce Najuro from Kenya, who won the vertical K, also won the 23K. 23K is one loop around. It's 13 and a half miles, 4,700 feet of gain. And she won in 2 hours and 11 minutes. Jade Belsberg got second in 2 hours and 12 minutes, so just 1 minute behind. In third place, Taber Henning was only 1 minute behind second, 2 hours 13 minutes. And then for the men, Patrick Kipngeno from Kenya, who won the vertical K, also won the 23K. So 1 hour 45 minutes. Eli Hemming, 1 hour 47 minutes, was second. And then the other race that was on Saturday was the ultra. It's hardly an ultra, though. It's 46K, 2 loops, 26.4 miles, 9,100 feet of climbing. And for the women, the winner was Tony McCann from South Africa, who lives in France, 4 hours 52 minutes. Claire Rhodes, 5 hours 7 minutes for second place. Amanda Basham in third, 5 hours 16 minutes. And then for the men, David Sinclair, 4 hours 1 minute, first place. Jeff Magavero, 4 hours 11 minutes, second place. And Adam Peterman ran in the 46K, 4 hours 12 minutes in third place. So he's still kind of on his comeback tour from his injury. All right, let's move on. There was this race, and I believe this is a newer race up at Mount Shasta, the Headwaters Trail Runs 50K. And I know a friend of mine that did this race, and from the sounds of it, it was pretty tough. Well, look, the Mila Opolanik set a women's course record, 7 hours 26 minutes. So, a 56K is going to be pretty tough when the course record is 7 hours and 26 minutes. And Michael Buyaskis won the men's group in 6 hours, 32 minutes. So just think how hard that is.
Yeah.
It's a 6 hour and 32 minute first place, 56K. Bears Ears Ultra in Monticello, Utah. 50 miler Aaron Park won for the women, 8 hours, 40 minutes. Damon Chavez, 7 hours, 34 minutes. Second place. 50K Madison Anderson for the women, 7 hours, 9 minutes. And Cal Sneaker, 6 hours, 42 minutes for first place in the 50K. And let's see. What else we got? Oh, there was a race up in Michigan. Oh,
Yeah.
shout out again to the Michigan folks. Like, I don't know where you came from, but we have a lot of new listeners in Michigan.
Welcome.
And by the way, we did set a monthly download record for the podcast. I think we were up around 375, 380 today. So cool. Like, thank you again to all the listeners. It's awesome that we're trying to build a community here, and we just like to have fun, and it's like we're going on a trail run, whatever. I know there's another podcast that says that too, but anyways, so there's a race up in Paradise, Michigan, and I believe that's up in the UP, right? Paradise.
Yeah. And what's funny is when I saw the name of that race, Two Hearted, my mind went right to beer, Two Hearted Pale Ale. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, oh my God, I'm throwing a blank on.
Two Hearted, yes, it's Bell's Two Hearted.
Bell's, yeah.
Well, so there is up in the UP. My brother-in-law lives up there. Him and his wife live up there, and there is a river, the Two Hearted River. And that's where the name of the beer comes from. I've canoed on that river or kayaked on that river. Paradise is in the UP. It's near Tequanimon Falls. It's way up in the northern UP. So it's beautiful up there, by the way.
Yeah.
And so there's a 50K that they had up there. It says, with cool temperatures, hot times were run, both course records falling. Michelle Magagan.
God, they got some names this week.
I'm so sorry, Michelle. Michelle Maganga won in 4 hours, 28 minutes. And Michelle, feel free to yell at me on social media or whatever. Just let me know, what the proper way to pronounce it. I do apologize. And William Caldwell, 3 hours, 51 minutes. And there's a picture of Michelle, the course record at the Two Hearted Trail 50K. So that's cool. There's a few races up in the UP actually. and it's cool that they have races up there. I'm a big fan of the Upper Peninsula.
I've never been up to the UP.
What? Really? Oh, man.
Yeah.
You should go. You know what? Yeah, we should actually plan a trip. We should maybe do a run. Like Chaz loves the UP.
Yeah.
We should try to plan a run and go camping up there sometime.
I'll do some glamping. I don't know about the camping.
Maybe rent a camper van or something.
Yeah.
Or we can stay with my brother-in-law.
Yeah.
New River Gorge Trail Fest 50K up in West Virginia, or over in West Virginia, Fayetteville, West Virginia.
Yeah.
Parts of the course were in the New River Gorge National Park, America's newest national park. 50K winners were Holly Ann Swan and Heath Goshorn. And Holly Ann finished in 4 hours, 48 minutes, and Heath finished in 4 hours and 31 minutes. So
congrats. That's the same race group that does the first 100 in West Virginia. God, good God.
The one that you did?
Yeah, I don't care.
Rim the River?
Rim the River, yeah. Rim the River. I did it its inaugural year. I'll tell you, they they put on a pretty nice little race down there, man. And like, it is a cool. I would assume, I would assume that this 50K starts in that same campground-ish place. And I mean, you can easily knock a 50K out on almost all on their property. But when it drops down and you're running along the river, you run through like ghost cities, like cities that like by Census Bureau, I guess. I think that's who declares stuff ghost cities. By definition, they're now ghost cities because there's that few people living in this city. Like it is nuts. Like some of the little cities you run through, and then like while you're on the river, like there's like remnants of what used to be like mining sites and stuff like that you go by, and like it is a cool race. Like if you're on the East Coast and you want a pretty cool race to go to, any of their stuff is going to be pretty solid in my opinion. Also, being a largely northern born and raised kind of person, like I spent a handful of years in the South, but living the overwhelming majority of my life in the North, dude, let me tell you about Fayetteville, West Virginia. That's the South. Like that is the South. But when you get off, like you're in Fayetteville, you're like, yeah, man, we're in the cut. But to get back to this campground where it's at, I mean, you are driving on roads that I shit you not, like a truck can barely get down, like with the width wise. And then like there are houses, like their front porch is touching the road. You're like, how the
oh my God,
what are we doing? Like it is bonkers getting back to where this campground is, where this place is.
Wow.
But it is, once you get back, you're like, this is super weird. It is like all of a sudden you're back in like all the cushiness of like, of first world comforts. You're like,
wow,
this is super weird. It is but anyways, I highly endorse his races. Like they do a pretty good job. I really enjoyed Rim to River.
What are the trails like down there?
East Coast. I mean, they're East Coast.
Roots, rock.
Yeah. I will say Rim to River, you do a handful of miles in the campground. Some of that is like on their campground road, so it's like you're like, okay, this ain't bad. And then like in the campground, you can tell they're campground maintained, so they're not bad. Once you get off the campground, you start getting into like, you have like, if you look at Rim to River's definition, they'll say you have several water crossings. They're more like where like the water is like coming down a hill and like quickly going across. So you'll have some slippery rocks. It is when you are back on the other side and going back up, because you're literally going down New River Gorge. You go down to the river, you go up, and then you go to where that bridge is. On the far side, there are some root kicking, like MFing, like some of the stairs that you climb. Like there's a trail that starts with an M on this race course. It starts with an M, but it's like an old mining village, old mine site, and the rock stairs that leads from the river to the top of this gorge is the most wonky, unstable stone stairway you've ever been on in your life.
That sounds fun.
And in the daytime, going out when I hit, I'm like, oh, okay, boop, 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 no big deal. On the way back, I don't know what was going off my headlamp. I was chewing through batteries.
Oh,
and
no.
I basically didn't have a headlamp going down these things. So I'm like poking with my stick, trying to find it. Like I ended up running right behind the guy until daylight finally kind of crest. I'm like, oh thank God. And I just so it was like, it is a cool race. Like if you're on the East Coast, I would highly recommend it.
Yeah, I've heard great things about it. So one last question about that. Do they set up aid stations in those ghost towns?
So yes, one of the aid stations is set up in a ghost town. And it's super weird because you go across like this really cool bridge into this little city, and like I mean, quite literally, no one like the aid station's there, but like the buildings are just like one or two buildings might have some stuff in the windows, but that's like it. Like it is weird. There's an aid station there, and then it feels like there's another aid station close to one that I can't recall off the top of my head, but yeah, there are a couple. It is a really cool race. There's also again, it was getting a little dark when I got to this point, so I was like a little afraid to really take it in. But one of the, I think you have to go out and get like a chit. You have to go out and get something. But there's an aid station, not an aid station. There is a checkpoint that is like out on this giant rock overlook. And I remember it being kind of dark and thinking, I am bullshit. Like I was like I on that thing, grabbed it and got off from it because I was also getting kind of tired at that point. Yeah, it's a cool race. It is worth doing for sure.
Nice. All right, let's move into. Well, we have we have a LazCon update, and it unfortunately is going to be our last update on LazCon. The LazCon has ended. Laz stopped his walk across America. I believe this was a couple days ago. Yeah, June 21st. So summer solstice, he stopped. He did make it to his parents' graves in Foyle, Oklahoma, where his father grew up. And I guess the heat was increasing. And he walked 60. He's 69 years old, and he walked 1,700 miles. Let's see. There was an article by Run 247. That's a fitting end. Barkley Marathons. Genius Laz Lake's epic LazCon trek reaches a conclusion. He's now 70. In total, it was 83 days, 1,716 miles, over 5 million steps. I was really looking forward to doing some miles with him in San Francisco, but you know, he's got health issues. I know his carotid artery is like 90% blocked, and 90% blockage in his carotid artery. He's 6 years older than he was the first time, his first LazCon. And so I think he just decided to call it an end.
Yeah.
So he gave it a good go.
I really love the fact that he wrapped it up at his mom and dad's gravesite. I feel like, and again, not knowing Laz at all, like you know, I mean, I've never had two words ever exchanged with him, so I don't know but I feel like if he thinks like us normal people think, he probably had like A goal, B goal, C goal, right? Like obviously A is to make it all the way across. B was probably to make it who knows where, maybe to here, maybe this was his B goal, maybe it's just, but it feels like a good like constellation, you know what I mean? Like it feels like a good like second place, or like that'll do, you know what I mean? That'll do. The other thing that I really, really love about the way the race wrapped up, or the run wrapped up for him across, there it is. There it is. He got picked up by a hearse, which I absolutely think is hysterical. Like, I mean, this is a dude that plays taps when people DNFs Barclays, right?
That's right.
I mean, come on, man. You know, I mean, and we were just talking about how he has the Grim Reaper as a sweeper. So I think it's really appropriate.
Yeah. So in the hearse was the family of Andy Payne. And Payne was a local Cherokee from Foyle, where Laz ended up calling it. And Andy Payne won the first race across America in 1928, and there's a statue of Andy Payne. So that's a really cool twist on his finish too. But the hearse, dude, that's just classic.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah. All right. So Laz is done. Congrats on his accomplishment. Was a nice go at it. Okay, we have an update on Kristian Morgan and his AT, the Appalachian Trail attempt. He is closing in on Maine, and he's been at it for 33 days, 17 hours and 45 minutes. Yeah, so he's almost to the last state. Now, I would say the gap between him and Carl's record northbound run has narrowed a little bit. I mean,
I feel like so too. It'd be kind of neat. I don't think you can you? It'd be kind of neat if it said, you know what I mean? Like, it'd be kind of neat if there was a way that they could show the actual distance between him right now, right? Like how many miles are between them with the you know what I mean? Like,
I was thinking the same thing. I wish I knew what the mileage was. On this tracker. It's a cool tracker because it shows where Carl was at this time. It shows where Kristian is at this time.
But like, I don't know the distance. You know what I mean? I don't know the distance. It'll also be
1, 2. Looks like three or four little mountains. I guess it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5 or 6 mountain peaks, and it's basically a state park. So he's within the same state park. Yeah, it'll be interesting. It'll be coming down to it. So
yeah,
by our show next week, he should be close to wrapping it up if he's going to set the record.
It's kind of wild is, well, so he's at 33 days right now. Course record is 41 days.
Yep, 7 hours.
So assuming, he'll probably be like in Maine, closing in on it. He'll probably finish like if we record like normal on a Wednesday night. Yeah. He'll probably be finishing in like Friday or Saturday, right?
Well, 1 week from today would be 40 days.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, it would be 40
17
days.
hours. So I'm assuming.
Oh yeah, so he might.
I'm assuming he'll be close when we record next week.
Yeah. The kind of interesting thing is it's been really hot out here at East, but I just I changed my little temperature thing over where he's at. It's only 48 degrees.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's favorable.
Yeah.
10 degrees Celsius. I don't know.
That's why I had to.
There's a calculation, but I forget.
That's exactly why I had to turn mine over on my Kion now.
All right, let's get into our Western States preview. I've heard about this video. It's called A Race for the Soul. I heard about it a while ago. It's an old video from the 2001 Western States race. And I've never been able to find this video. I think I've looked and I just haven't been able to find it. Well, magically this week, the video turns up on YouTube.
Interesting.
Look at that, dude.
Yeah.
So this video is about Western States, the 2001 edition. And we're talking legends on this thing, right? Scott Jurek, Dean Karnazes, Ann Trayson, all these legends of Western States. And the cool thing about this video is it's not just showing how awesome people are. It's showing like mad carnage. I mean, it's showing people's feet are just so jacked up and like.
I think I maybe have seen this actually.
I was impressed. Like I didn't know what to expect, and I got sucked in, and I ended up watching the whole hour-long video. It's just pretty cool. And the other thing, they used to weigh people in at the aid stations at Western States.
You know who still does? Old Dominion.
Is that right?
Old Dominion weighs you at the starting line, or like at race check-in, they weigh you, and then they weigh you again at mile 47, just to see which I think there's plenty of science that says like that's not great science.
It's not.
But yeah, that's still their jam. Like, and like they take it dead ass serious. Like they take it dead ass serious.
So if you've lost a certain amount of weight, you have to sit there until you put weight on.
And so not only that, but also if you've added too much weight, like they look at it both ways.
Oh, okay.
Because they're like,
you're retaining water.
Yeah, they're like, hey, like you are not burning, like your
kidneys
are holding a ton. Yeah. So they look at both ways, which is kind of interesting. So like you have to find the sweet spot, you know, like it is really kind of interesting. It's interesting, but it's also, I don't believe it's wildly accurate either. So
no, that's why Western States stopped doing it actually.
Yeah.
But you don't see any of the modern day running vests either in this, you know, it's all like the waist belts and carrying water by hand. And let's face it, Western States, there's an aid station like every 4 to 6 miles. I mean, you can get away with 2 water bottles easy.
Dude, and not only is there an aid station every like handful, like very close, they are obnoxiously like full on like white tablecloth service. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, don't talk to your runner yet. You can't talk to your runner until we're done talking to your runner. Like, come on, what are we talking about? Relax.
Yeah, I paced at Western States, and I did the Cal Street section from Forest Hill to the river, Rucky Chuck. Yeah, and the aid stations are like ridiculously nice. So
I did when I got to pace Dave Wells, I did Rucky Chuck up to the big huge open prairie with the
painted rock.
Yeah, I did that stretch.
Oh, so you went through Hal Kerner's aid station?
Yeah, I gotta do all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool for sure.
Did you pace across the river?
Yeah. So I picked him up on like the right side of the river. I did. I will fully admit, I shamelessly told Dave, like, hey, listen, man, I will pace and or crew whatever you need. But if there's any way I can get to do Rucky Chuck with you, that'd be super dope. He's like, I got you. Nice. So it was
logistically, it's so much easier to pick somebody up on that side of the river, because to get to, you know, there's that walk up to Green Gate, and
walk's a motherfucker too, boy.
You get to that aid station, like you have to drive down some back ass road, and then you have to like a mile or something. Yeah. Like it's just it makes so much more sense just to pick up on the near side of the river.
The aid station
boat or
no, we gotta walk across. Yeah, we gotta walk across. Cool. The aid station that I remember seeing and just thinking like, God, this is really over the top. 2 of them, as a matter of fact, to be completely frank. 2 aid stations I remember thinking like, these are so over the top, they're ridiculous. The one is the uber famous one, and like I'm drawing a complete blank up by at the school. Golly days.
The last one, Roby Point.
No. It's like what would it be, like the 100K mark?
Oh, Forest Hill.
God, yeah, I could not come up. So I was like, this one's really, really, like, this is ridiculous. Like it was like a full on rave. I'm like, this is absolutely nuts. Like if I was in these houses, I'd be like, this is bonkers.
It's so crazy, dude. All the cars parked. Like,
yeah. And then that's Forest Hill there by a school. What's the one that's like right before Forest Hill that is like when you're coming out of like
Michigan Bluff? That little town.
We actually got yelled at that one for talking to Dave too soon. Yeah. Hey, he's not through the aid station yet. You can't talk. I'm like, golly, Dave, you guys are exhausting. Like they were pretty strict down in Michigan.
They do have like more they have like one volunteer for every runner. It's just nuts. But
yeah, it is bonkers.
Really funny story about Forest Hill. So when Chaz and I were crewing Ron there, Ron came in and he had like some blisters that needed addressed, right? So he went in. So he went into the school there where they had the guy that wrote this book, right? Fix Your Feet. His assistant was doing the blister repair, and I think there was some chatty Cathys in there and talking, just talking Ron's ear off, and like a half hour, like it seemed like a half hour had gone by. Chaz was about ready to blow a gasket. Yeah. He was pacing back and forth, and they let him go back there. He was like,
"What the fuck?" Yeah.
But it turned out to save his race. Like, it was good that he got his feet fixed.
Yeah, yeah.
And then we met the guy that wrote the book. Like, I bought his book. It's called Fixing Your Feet or Fix Your Feet. Yeah. Good stuff. But yeah, great memories. All right. So yeah, Race for the Soul. Let's go to the women's preview, because everybody's saying the women's race is going to be the one to follow this year, and I do agree it's going to be exciting. So the front runner is definitely Katie Scheid. Okay, Katie is an American living in France, I believe.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yep. And she got second last year, 16 hours 43 minutes, which by itself would have beaten the course record if Courtney didn't also destroy the course record last year. So she's by far the front runner, but anything can happen, man. This is Western States. It's going to be hot. It's, I think 93 is the high in Auburn for the forecast. So it's going to be an average hot year. The canyons are baking, like AJW said. Throughout the week, it's hot, so that stone just like absorbs all the heat and it just radiates up. So it's going to be super hot in the canyons, triple digits, easy. Esther Silic from Hungary, she's also going to be up there. She is returning from last year. Emily Hawgood, she's from Zimbabwe but lives in the U.S. She's a heck of a runner, and she's no doubt going to be in the top 10. She got 5th last year. Oh, Esther got 3rd last year. Ida Nielsen got 7th last year, and Priscilla Forgy from Canada 8th, and Leah Yingling from 9th. And according to AJW, like Leah Yingling she's one that had a really great breakout year, and then she had a good second showing at Western States. And usually when that happens, the experience from the good year, the okay year, really culminates into a top performance. So watch out for Leah Yingling. So more top contenders. Ragna de Baats from the Netherlands, heck of a runner. Rachel Drake, she won Black Canyon. So she, like, I'm thinking she's going to be on the podium. Although this is, I think, this is her first time running a 100-miler. However, if her performance at Black Canyon tells us anything, she's going to be right there. Although I did hear she is moving this week, moving to Utah. So I don't know if that's going to affect if that's going to affect anything. It did affect me when I moved the week of a 100-mile race one time. Casey Lichty going for her 1,000-mile buckle. And she has won the race before. She knows that course really well. She's always at the training camp. This is like, her homecoming. She comes to Western States almost every year. So it wouldn't surprise me to see her in the top 10.
All right, you ready?
Let's go.
What is your podium? Who's your podium for women?
Okay, there's just a couple more. Fast women in here that I want to mention. Lottie Brinks, who was first at the 2023 Grindstone 100K. Sally McRae is running, and so podium. Oh, you know what? They didn't mention Anna Cautious from. Oh yeah, here she is, Anna Loudon. She's from San Francisco, and she's been fine tuning. She's fast. She won the 2023 Javelina 100K, fourth at Black Canyon. So, and I actually picked her to win Black Canyon, but she ended up having to withdraw due to injury. So my podium is Katie Scheid, Leah Yingling, and Rachel Drake.
Okay.
I think in that order.
Okay. So I'm gonna go with my two podiums, and I'll go with my winner last, who I think wins it.
Okay.
My podium includes Drake, like she's going to podium, like she will podium. Lichtig will podium.
All right.
I'm gonna go down. I'm gonna take a little bit of a flyer. I'm gonna go with Lichtig.
Bold pick. I like it.
And then I am going to go for my winner, and I have a little bit of a reason behind this. Esther Sislag will win it.
That's a solid pick, man.
And here's why I think Sislag has it this year. Third last year. So she's got the experience running at the front of the pack. But this year, with a little bit more heat than there was last year, and her currently living in Hong Kong, she's used to that heat. Like that heat's not going to. Now she's more used to a humid heat, but still, like that might actually be a little bit more beneficial. Like I just feel like she's going to be able to handle the heat better than a lot of the other women, and I think like I got Sizzling winning it, and Drake will probably take second. And then I'll be completely frank. Lichtig, I just feel like it's just a right. I think that story's good, so I want it to be. You know what I mean? I just want it to be.
Casey can do it, man. Like she's won before. She knows that course inside and out. It's not a bad pick, really.
My favorite runner though. I mean, how can you not love Sally McRae? Like
she's the best.
So fucking nice.
She's so
nice,
cool.
so cool. So if she's my honorable, like if she hits the podium, like fuck yeah, like I'll be over the moon stoked.
Yeah, she is just good people. I love that she's running Western States. I'm really looking forward to following it. I am doing my long run Saturday morning. I'll definitely be tuning in as soon as that's done and tuning in on the way there just to listen.
Yeah.
I won't be making the drive up to Auburn this year. I've been up there a couple times since we moved here. But it's going to be an exciting year.
Yeah.
And this women's race is really going to be something to follow. And let's switch over to the men's, who there is a strong favorite
Yeah.
in Mr. Jim Walmsley coming off a win at UTMB. And then he just jumped in the golden ticket race over there after his UTMB win to get into Western States. It seems like he can just call his shot. Like, oh, I feel like running Western States next year, and I don't have a ticket, so I'm just going to jump into this golden ticket race and snatch that up.
I mean, the nice thing is it's like what's funny is he doesn't even really have to. He's going to, because it's just how he's wired. But like he could like completely kick it into like jog mode and get a golden ticket. You know what I mean? Like, I'll win it, but I don't have to if I don't want to. You know what I mean? Like, which just makes him like he is a freak for sure.
Yeah, and one thing I will say though is it's going to be hot this year, and he has figured out how to beat the heat, but at the same time, I think heat is his only like weak spot. So that would be the only thing that could trip him up, I think, barring something crazy happening, would be the heat. You know, so we have Tyler Green, who seems to get second place at Western States every year.
Yeah.
But you know, if Rachel Drake's moving this week, that means Tyler Green's moving this week because they're married.
Oh, by the way.
Yeah, I don't know how that's going to affect them, but John Albin's running, and Hayden Hawks coming off of a dominant performance. And Johnny called it at Black Canyon 100K. I will say Hayden is just like, he's getting better as he gets older. I mean, he's like really figuring things out, and he's just been putting on a clinic lately. So it'll be exciting to see how he handles Walmsley. Like, is he gonna run with him off the front? Is he gonna just hang back a little? You know, is he gonna run his own race, or is he just gonna go balls to the wall strong from the beginning? It'll be really interesting to see what happens. The returning champ, Tom Evans, is not coming back. I think he's running UTMB this year, I think. Matthew Blanchard is not coming. Anthony Costales withdrew. So we got Tyler Green, Jishen Chen from China, got fourth last year in 15 hours and 19 minutes. Fourth place was 15 hours. Last year was a cooler year.
Yeah.
So
they were burning it down last year. Yeah.
Some crazy fast times. Tyler Green was 15 hours and 4 minutes. You know, these are all records in the, like 45-year history of Western States. And then the last 5 years, of course, Walmsley has just lowered that bar so much into like the low 14, But Daniel Jones from New Zealand, he's been having a heck of a year.
Yeah.
So he could give it a go. Ryan Montgomery, they have also been having some strong performances. And Jeff Colt, who got 8th last year, he's kind of somebody that flies under the radar. Ran a 16-hour 51 minute last year. He ran 15 hours 42 minutes last year. He cut an hour off his time from the previous year. So that guy's just getting better. Cole Watson. All right. So Dakota Jones is running.
He would be a good feel-good story. He'd be a good feel-good story. Just because, last couple have been pretty up and down for him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he got 17th last year.
Yeah. And for someone of that caliber to take 17th, that's a kick in the Jimmy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that is not one that is
he,
not one that you walk away from feeling good about yourself.
Right. And he was third at the 2022 Hard Rock, and he won the 2022 Javelina. So in less than 13 hours, by the way. He's had an up and down past 2 years. Win at Transvolcania, third at CCC last year. So he had a good, other than Western States, he had a pretty good year. So we'll see what happens. I agree. That would be a good story. Rod Farvard, that guy, didn't he? Oh, yeah. He just won the Canyons 100K. So, he could potentially burn down. Jonathan Ray, that guy's fast as hell.
Mm-hmm.
We forgot about that Jupiter Carrera that got second at Black Canyon 100K.
Yeah.
That guy put on a clinic too. And Chris Myers, who got third at Black Canyon, he's kind of a newcomer. So we could see something out of him. So the men's race is going to be pretty exciting too.
The men's race feels like you have a bunch of like stalwarts, like a bunch of like dudes that's been in the sport for a minute. You know what I mean? And like, I don't want to say they're on their downside, but like Walmsley's been in here for a hot minute. Like that dude's been around forever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I love me some Hayden Hawks, but that dude is like, he ain't spring chicken. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I saw you just highlighted one of them. And like, Harvey, I mean, shit, Harvey's getting ready to draw fucking Social Security, I think. Like that, you know what I mean? Like he's old.
Harvey got in by winning the Ultra Magazine's, I think it was essay contest or something.
Yeah.
And then Nick Curry, who's just been.
Oh, yeah.
He's just been tearing races apart this year.
Yeah.
So
you got these.
Again, he's been around a long time.
Yeah, so you got these older dudes that are coming in, and you got like these. Then you got these like younger cats like Jupiter and Ray,
Chris Myers.
Yeah, Myers. Like you got some pretty young cats.
Farvar.
Kind of coming up. It could be fun. Like, this might be the year where like you start seeing a transition and start having to learn new guys' names. You know what I mean? Now, I don't think so. Like it could be, but I don't think it will because I have my little list of. I got my podium already written down for the men.
Okay.
So I'll get my little teaser out right there. So.
Well, I'll let you go last since yours probably has more thought to it than mine. But I'm gonna go with the heavyweights.
Yeah, go chalk, aren't you?
I'm going Walmsley, and I will mix up second and third. I will go Walmsley, Hayden Hawks, Tyler Green.
Oh shit, we have the exact same. I have the exact same. I have Green taking third. I think he just steps back one spot, and like not because of him, but because there's two fucking insane maniacs running. I mean, like, I mean, I wouldn't say Walmsley is not near as dominant as Court is, but still, given if I can pick him or the field, I'm probably leaning toward him. You know what I mean? Like I'm probably giving him the nod. So I bet he beats Hayden and Green by like an hour. You know what I mean? Like, but I feel like Walms wins it, Hawks, and then Green. And like Hawks or Green, I could see flip-flopping one way or another.
Yeah.
Someone might pop up in there and get them.
Yeah. And I think, honestly, the reason I put Hawks in front of Green is just, I don't know what Tyler Green's trainings look like. I'm sure it's been great, but Hayden Hawks, I've been following him a little bit, and his training seems like he is just dialing it in.
Yeah, so. Yeah. My do you have a like an honorable mention? Anyone that you want to throw out for like I like in a wild world I can see it going down. Do you have anybody?
I think in a wild world for podium.
Yeah.
I I really want to see this. I want to see Jupiter Carrera. Like,
that would be super fucking cool.
I want to see. Yeah, I want to see. This is going to really show what he's got. I mean, he got second at Black Canyon. He's only taken up ultra running a few years ago, so he can only get better. Yeah, and you know what? He is from Mexico, so he's used to running in the heat, in that dry heat. Is it dry down there? I don't know.
Oh, is it humid? It depends on what
if it's humid, it doesn't matter. It's just
it really does depend on what part of Mexico you're in, though. Because if he's in like that northwest part of Mexico, you know what I mean? Like there's that whole tribe. That's where like that sandal running really originates from. Is that tribe in
the Tarahumara?
Yeah, like they're up in the northwest part of Mexico. So like Canyon. I mean, that's canyons. You know what I mean? Like so, I mean, if he's from there, if he's from there, I don't know where my dude's from. Now, if he's from if he's from southern Mexico, my dude's running in like fucking jungles. You know what I mean?
Well, either way, he's had some good heat training, I'm guessing.
He would be a great dude to see on the podium.
Yeah.
Here's my I could see it going down. Like I just could. Harvey Lewis. In a weird world, if you look at how he runs and what runs he's really good at, this course is kind of like, because Western States, to the best of my knowledge, you've covered more of the course than I have. To the best of my knowledge, there is not a spot of technical on that trail. Like it's all buffed out trail, right? And or dirt road.
Well, the only part of the course I haven't been on is the first 50K.
Yeah.
In the high country.
Yeah.
So I don't really know what those trails look like. But there's a lot of downhill running, and you're right, the trails aren't super technical.
And so when I think of Harvey, right? Like you got to think this is a dude who's won this is a dude who's won Badwater how many times?
Yeah, he knows how to run in heat.
He can run into heat, and he can run like he is fast on easy trails, right? It's the exact same reason I'm like I hate to say it. I was like, that dude's going to get chewed up down at Barkley. It's the counter reason why I knew he's going to get chewed up at Barkley.
Yeah.
Like it's not his jam. He's like get on those baby butt smooth Cali trails.
Yeah.
And he can run into heat. I mean, shit, look what he does on those 4-mile loops where it's kind of buffed out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I think the only hang up, I agree, it's a runner's course, so it's good for him. It's, net downhill. That's good for him. He knows how to handle the heat. And if he had a dream day, he could. The only thing I think that might be a hang up for him is, even though Western States is a downhill course, there's still 18,000 feet of climbing.
Yes, that is true.
So that's the only thing that I could see, the only hang up I could see for Harvey.
Yeah,
But you know what? If he had a dream day, anything's possible.
Yeah. I just think it'd be one of those things where like, oh yeah, I can get it. It is interesting because like we're talking about Western States has 18,000 feet of climb. I kind of do wonder. I mean, Badwater obviously is flat as a desktop.
No.
Right up into it. Well, as I say, right up into it's not flat as a desktop, and then it's straight to F up. I wonder how tall that.
I think it's kind of like a gradual climb all the way to the. Then you get to the where you go up to the portal.
Yeah, I wonder. So. I feel like I want to Google elevation of Badwater 135.
Yeah, it's not a cupcake. I think it's like around 14.
It's not this is a very true statement. It is not a cupcake. Let's see here.
Well, you do start at negative 282 feet below sea level, which I've been to a few times, the Badwater Basin. It is trippy. Actually, you know what's funny? our background here.
Yeah.
That's the floor of Badwater Basin.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So, the start
13,000.
line. The start line is Death Valley, which is the lowest elevation in North America, 282 feet below sea level. A cumulative vertical ascent of 6,100.
This says cumulative.
Dude, it says 14,600 feet of gain.
Yeah. Well, Wikipedia says 19,000 feet of cumulative elevation gain. So
I'm on their website. I'm on.
Okay. I'll say AI says 13,000 feet. So
yeah.
Well,
so,
I did say 14. That was my guess. So let's just go with that.
That's nuts. Like that.
Yeah.
So like you're talking about how like, hey, Western States has this. Like I will fully admit, I honestly God, I thought Badwater had like 6,000 feet of gain. Because I honestly thought it was flat, and you get to Whitney, it's like big up to the top of Whitney.
Oh, dude, when you're going out of Badwater Basin, it is just a climb. It's like it's a gradual climb. Forever. So
forever.
Well, then you get up to this pass, and then you go way down, and then you run forever. And then you go up to the Mount Whitney portal. So yeah, I could see that. Yeah.
God, Badwater is an insane race, man.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're way over time. I do want to talk about the Western States. They announced their golden ticket races for next year. We can get into that. Let's not spoil.
Yeah.
Let's not spoil the Western States Psych Cup episode with that. A little disappointing, I'll say, but anyway, So I'm looking forward to tuning in Saturday, Western States. See what happens, and I'm sure we'll be texting back and forth. So.
Yeah, for sure. Cool. All right. Well, thanks, everybody. It was a pleasure spending a hour and 20-ish minutes with you. So I hope you had a good run or whatever you got done at hour 20. So I hope it was enjoyable for you. Hit us up on the socials. Give us a like. Leave us some comments on the podcast. Like, subscribe. Leave us some reviews. Let us know what you love. Let us know what you hate. But, love talking to you all out there. And hopefully I'll see you someday on the trail.
Heck yeah. Have a great weekend, everyone. We'll talk to you soon.
Yes.